in regards to a relationship in your life. This could be a romantic relationship, or this could be a friendship, a business partnership, any type of relationship. But you could really be at your wit's end and really wondering, should I just be done with this? Should I put any more energy into this? Is this really worth it? Do I want to continue on? So a lot of times this is about being at a crossroads, where we are trying to figure out, is this something we really want to continue pursuing? Now, this can also indicate that you're experiencing a delay. Maybe some of you have, say, applied for a job and maybe you're just not hearing back, and, maybe there could just simply be a delay in getting the news that you're waiting to hear. Or, maybe if some of you have creative projects going, you could end up being delayed in regards to getting them done. So, this is overall, us experiencing obstacles and setbacks and delays, and they can be disheartening sometimes, but, don't lose your optimism, don't lose your enthusiasm, be determined. If this is something that you really want and something that you're truly, truly passionate about, and this is something that you really want, then don't let this delay bring you down. Just know that it is temporary. And if you can look at it like that, and you can definitely take it on as, okay, this is not going to knock me off of my path. This is just a temporary delay. In no time, you will have this card in the upright position. Also, some of you could be trying to move, and you might be experiencing delays in regards to that as well. Now, I will be clarifying the first three cards, the 6th and the 10th, so that's how I'm going to do it this month instead of clarifying all the cards. But I've also added some advice cards in this month, so, okay, continuing on. Now, for your circumstances, we have the Four of Cups. So this is definitely a time where you're doing a lot of inner reflection. Perhaps you've been through something. You know, some of you may be considering making a decision, and this would be an emotional type of decision for you, or it would be a decision that is about something that you care a lot about, that you have passion for, that you have love for. Now, when you look at this card, she's staring at the reflection of herself in the water, and the water being symbolic of our emotions and our spirituality. But she's definitely just stuck there reflecting, literally, and she doesn't see that she's actually being offered this cup. Now, this cup is being represented as an opportunity, but she's just so focused. And sometimes there can be a bit of apprehension because, especially with Scorpio, we have a tendency to, be a bit distrustful, and hey, we have every right to be because we've experienced many reasons in our life to not be so trusting. So, this card can be where we're kind of leery, where we don't know if we want to reach out for that cup. We don't know if we want that opportunity. We don't know if we want to go that way. So we're definitely pondering and considering, taking it, but we're also still kind of focused on ourselves. And sometimes there can be a tendency of getting too lost within yourself and your emotions, because Scorpio does have very deep, intense emotions. So, you might be going real deep. So, I don't want you guys to miss this cup. This opportunity could be a fabulous one, or, it could be a bullshit opportunity. But you're not going to know if you're too stuck in your emotions. So, you've got to be looking around, be aware that an opportunity is going to present itself. Okay, this would be the focus card. We have the Page of Swords. So this is definitely our card of third party information, spying, receiving secret type information. And this is also a card of where we could potentially end up receiving a bit of disappointing news. And this news, it definitely pushes us to where we have to make a decision very quickly. So yes, if you're not receiving any information from third parties about, something in your life or something that may pertain to your life, then you may be receiving some disappointing news. In this news, you're going to have to make decisions quickly. So we won't be able to have too much time for reflecting. You know, reflect a little, but we're going to have to make a decision quickly. With the Page of Swords, for some of you, this could be a young child in your life. And if this is a child in your life, then this child would be very inquisitive. Yeah. There is a very great desire to speak with the Page of Swords. So this child would definitely want to speak up. For some of you, a child could come to you and tell you something that you did not know. And for some of you, this could simply be someone that is younger than you that brings you some information. You know, they could simply be a year or two younger than you, or they could be a lot younger than you. And in some instances, let's keep it real, this could be someone that's older than you, but, is just not nowhere near as mature. So, many different ways this can occur. Look at me, I'm wanting to jump here. Okay, this is your recent past or the energy that is moving away from you right now. So, we have the Two of Wands. So, the Two of Wands is, we have definitely manifested something, we've materialized it, we've set it into motion, and we are waiting on results. So some of you could have been waiting to hear back. Some of you could have been waiting on a decision. Some of you could have just been waiting to see the results of something that you started. And again, this is your recent past. This could have been a creative venture. This could have been a job. Maybe some of you went and applied for a job. Maybe some of you are awaiting a decision within a relationship. It can go many different ways. But overall, you're waiting to hear back results, and this was your past. Now, this brings us to the present, the here, the now energy. We have Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is definitely indicating a transition type of period. And a lot of times with this transition period, it brings about confusion, sometimes struggles. And a lot of times this can indicate that some of you could be having conflicts with someone in your life. And sometimes these conflicts could become so long and drawn out that it's kind of like, why did we even start arguing? Because it starts with something and then boom, it turns into something else because it's just like argument after argument. Or this could simply be indicating that some of you are just confused about which way to go. Maybe some of you are experiencing some struggles, and some of you are definitely experiencing conflicts with someone else in your life. Okay, this is your near future. Here we have the Four of Coins. So it looks like you guys are definitely focused on building your money. So some of you could be working really, really hard towards attaining that financial security for your family. Now, some of you also could be clinging to something. Whether you're clinging to your money, or you could be clinging to a person, a relationship, a situation. But sometimes this can indicate that we're, hanging on to something, with everything in us. And if that happens to resonate with you, is this something you really want to keep hanging on to? You need to be honest with yourself. But overall, the focus here is on, getting our financial security so that we are comfortable and that we can provide our family with a comfortable life. Now, sometimes when this card comes up, someone may try to ask you for money, for a loan of money. And, a lot of times people may be perceived as being selfish with this particular energy. And it's not that you're being selfish, it's just you had to work your ass off to get the money that you have, so you're not going to just hand it out. And so sometimes people can perceive you as being selfish, but that's their perception, whatever. Now, for your attitude, we have the High Priestess. So you guys are definitely going within. You're listening to that inner voice. You're listening to your intuition, your gut feeling. Keep going. And a lot of you are definitely looking at things like, there's more to a certain situation, like there's something going on. It's like you're trying to put a puzzle together. So you're trying to solve something that is going on in your life. So you guys are definitely going within and relying on your intuition. You are trusting your intuition, and I love that. Scorpio's got very strong intuition. You guys definitely need to rely on it. Now, this is how other people would see you, and here we have the Eight of Swords in the reverse position. So this is definitely indicating that, we are not being controlled by our fears anymore. We are not stuck in indecision. We are able to make a decision just fine. For some of you, at some point, you could have been trapped because of your fear. You may have been restricted in regards to making a decision because your thoughts were so overrun by fear. But now, you are no longer held back by that fear. You're not allowing the fear to control you or your decision making process. Okay, so this is our hopes and or our fears. So here we have the King of Wands in the reverse position. I love this card in the upright position, but no, not a fan of it in the reverse position. Okay, so this can definitely be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Most of the time, this is an Aries. So, the King of Wands in the reverse position, he's a bit more temperamental here, okay? He's also got a lack of self confidence. He's also not so sure of himself and others. And see, when he's in his upright position, oh, he is very confident. Very confident. But he loses that confidence in the reverse position. So, some of you may be fearing, this exact scenario. And the King of Wands in the reverse position, he can also be someone that can be a bit sly. This is someone that could actually, they're really good at getting other people to do everything for them while they just sit back and reap the benefits. So, yeah, that may resonate with a few of you. So, but overall, I'm going to class this as a fear because I don't see any of you actually wishing and hoping for a lack of confidence, a lack of self esteem. You know, yeah, that just doesn't fit for me. So, we're definitely going to put that in the fear category. Okay, for our final outcome card, we have the Emperor. So, classically, this is ruled by this, Aries. The Emperor, he is also known, this is also known as the Father card. So this could indicate, some of you may actually be dealing with your father soon. Some of you could be dealing with an older man. This could be an uncle, this could even be, a grandfather. Or this could just simply be indicating, an older male. Or this could be indicating that you guys are just channeling this Emperor energy, and you guys are like, hey, I'm going for it. I'm going to take control. I'm in control. Because the Emperor is very much in control. And the Emperor is very good, especially when it comes to resolving issues. He's very good at making sure that both parties, you know, feel that a fair decision was come to. But the Emperor to me is about taking control. The Emperor is an authority. So for some of you, this could actually indicate an actual authority figure in your life or someone that you may have to deal with here in the near future. Or some of you are simply just taking on this energy as I am the authority, I am the one in charge, and I am taking control of my life. I'm in control of my life and what happens to me, and I love that, especially if you're channeling the Emperor's energy. Keep keep at it because you are absolutely correct. You are in charge of your life. You are the authority of your own life. So I love that energy. I'm gonna go deeper, but we're going to use the clarification cards. Okay, for the bottom of the deck, we get the Lover's card. So the focus here is on relationships. This could be a marriage, this could be a romantic relationship, this could be a long friendship, this could be a business partnership. It would be a relationship with someone that you have a history with and that you care for. And so the focus is definitely on relationships. Maybe some of you are wanting to get into a relationship. Maybe some of you are already in a relationship and you are very focused on the relationship. Okay, back to our Sun card. In the reverse position, we're going to clarify, which I got two clarifying cards for this one. We got the Queen of Cups, which is Scorpio. And we got the Four of Wands in the reverse position. Okay, so automatically, Four of Wands in the reverse position. So maybe this delay, the obstacles, maybe even the crossroads, something is definitely occurring within the home. Okay? Some of you may be experiencing an unhappy home life. Maybe some of you are experiencing a setback in regards to your home life. Some of you could be literally trying to get maybe some of you actually could be having a new home built. And if you are having a new home built, you're experiencing lots of delays here. And then this would be an extra warning, especially if you are having a house built. This could be indicating that there could potentially end up being a structural type issue. So you definitely would want to bring in another contractor or two. You want to make sure things get done right. Now, some of you could be experiencing issues within the home life. Maybe some of you are deciding to move away. Maybe you desire to move away. Maybe some of you are dealing with empty nest syndrome, so to speak. Some of you could actually be experiencing issues within a marriage, and you are actually at this crossroads, and you're trying to decide: is this something I want to continue with? Because it's definitely got the home life turned upside down. Now, something else about the Four of Wands that is very important, whether it's in the upright or the reverse position, this is a card of where we need to really take stock and be thankful and grateful for the blessings that we do have in our life. No matter how big or how small these blessings are, we should focus on what we do have and be very grateful for what we do have. You know, I have had a lot of people, that are just absolutely pessimistic. And they're like, I've got no blessings in my life. Well, you're wrong. Are you breathing right now? That's a blessing. Do you have some food to put in your stomach tonight? That's a blessing. Do you have children? That's a blessing. Are they healthy? That's a blessing. I mean, I can keep going. You know, some people tend to focus on the negative when there are positives, you just got to look, people tend to, not everyone, but, there are people that tend to take these things for granted. And this is a card saying, don't take things for granted. You need to be grateful for all of your blessings, no matter how big or how small. And this is really a very good thing to do because when we refocus our attention from, what's going wrong and what we're lacking, when we refocus our attention on, okay, let me count my blessings, let me be grateful. When we start focusing on what we do have and being grateful for what we have, that's when a situation can turn around and we can end up attracting more good things to come our way in prosperous times and reasons to celebrate. Our minds are very, very strong, and Scorpios, you know this. You know how strong your mind is. You can simply think something and it happens. So, think good things. Make good things happen. Now, Queen of Cups, this is absolutely you, Scorpio. She's very much in touch with her intuition, the Queen of Cups. She definitely tends to rely on her intuition rather than her logic. So this would definitely be indicating that this is very much an emotional issue for you guys. But with her being in the upright position, you're definitely considering, all of this in a balanced way. And that's a positive. Okay, for the advice, we get the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position, which this card's definitely made an appearance in quite a few readings here. So, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, yes, some of you may be experiencing, a reversal of luck, maybe some bad luck, but I don't really like to look at it as bad luck. The Wheel of Fortune is saying you need to get in there and you need to get your hands dirty. You need to work hard. If this is something that you truly want that's being delayed and encountering obstacles, you just need to get in there and do the work. Because you can, by doing the work and not being afraid to get your hands dirty, you can literally reverse this wheel upright in your favor. So it's really all in our perception and how we choose to look at something. If you want to look at it like, you're not getting what you want here because you have bad luck, well, if that's what you really want to think, but I'm here to tell you that's not the type of thinking you want to be having. This is this is basically letting us know if we get in there and we really do our best to work at changing the situation, then it can definitely go in our favor if that's what you want. For some of you, you may not want this. Maybe you're just like at your wits' end and you're like, I'm done, I'm ready for a change. So each person is different. Every Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign, we're all different. We're all on our own journey. And we don't all want the same thing.